My name is Ashley Navarre.
Cody.
My name is Megan Montalbano.
I'm 39.
Gosh, I just turned 41 this year.
I'm 34. I'm sorry, I'm 35.
So starting in college, I would read magazines, go to the bookstore and look at workout magazines and steal workouts from there. And that would be what I would do in the gym. And that was just a constant rotation. And then I read about CrossFit when I was already out of school. I had 2 children and I was like, let me try this. I'd never heard of it before. And it was the most horrible thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I couldn't believe that I couldn't do these movements and I was hurting that bad. And so naturally I was addicted to it.
I think we were adding up the years not long ago. I think I'm at around 13 years. Megan Norris was in class that day and helped me do the math. So it started around 2011-ish. I needed something a little bit more scheduled, that was programmed, that allowed me to be able to be there on time, start a class. It was prepared, programmed, coached. That helped me kind of get on a more disciplined schedule. Though I was working full time, you get in, you put your phones away, you can check out from what's going on.
I started exercising, and honestly, I started off with CrossFit in 2013. I saw, just driving by, just people running on the street with like wall balls, and I thought, man, they're kind of crazy, but I'm a little crazy too. So like, I'm going to try it out. I want to give it a go. I wanted to see what it was all about.
Of course, I got online and just really fell deep into the world of CrossFit. There was none around here, so I was doing it on my own. Well, people got interested in what I was doing and started asking me to help them and show them, and it just became a thing. I was at the YMCA at that time, and ended up having a little class. The YMCA shut down, and these people were like, well, can we work out with you at your house? And I'm like, I guess. And it just kept going, and I was like, I guess this is what I'm gonna do. So I got completely certified in February of 2009, and then went through those months and the summer months at my house and in my backyard, and then it was turning to winter, and I was like, we can't do this outside in the cold and the wet. So I started looking for a building, and we got this place in November of 2009.
The community of people there that keep me coming back. I've made some of my best friends, over the years through CrossFit. If you walk in a CrossFit gym, you're not going to meet a loser. It's a community of just like-minded people. Everyone in there is super driven. They're all generally pretty successful. We all have, like I said, a common mindset of no excuses, and we show up every day. And that community has encouraged me and pushed me to do things that I thought I'd never do.
I think you got to be ready to work hard in here. We're not going to let you get away with not giving your all, or skipping movements, or shorting your reps. Like, don't cheat for sure. But also, you get to a point where these people become your family, because you're suffering with them every day. You're shedding layers, and you're growing. I've gone on vacation. I've been at people's births, their weddings, all clients from here that weren't my friends before I started CrossFit. I don't know, just we form a very tight bond, and these people have become my favorite people. Yeah, I have never found people that I have in CrossFit, because if you're in here every day and you're doing the work, you're just a certain type of person.
To make it through and see everybody come through from its birth in '09 to going through how many storms, metaphorically and literally, and then COVID and everything else. It's kind of amazing to see how everybody has stuck with the program.
People look at CrossFit and they have the misconception that you have to be this top tier athlete with all these muscles and in the thinnest shape of your life. Um, Scaling is teaching people who are just normal that they can also do CrossFit. And back when I owned it, you kind of had to prove yourself to work up to these harder movements, mostly for safety. And people didn't realize the effect that this stuff had on their body if they started doing it too early when their muscles weren't primed for it. So scaling is kind of starting at the bottom of a movement, and if you can do that safely and nothing's hurting you, do that for a while, and then we move to the next level of that same movement and on until you're doing what's actually on the board, which is called RX. So every movement has a couple of levels of scaling that no matter what position you are in your life, you're able to do that movement, just a different version of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's where the true work and the meat of it comes in, is that time in between when you walk in and you can't RX everything, right? That's where the true growth happens, and that's where the transformation takes place. Um, and man, what an accomplishment, what a feat when you are able to RX it. And so, no, I didn't feel, when I walked in, I knew I couldn't. I think you're a fool if you walk in and say, oh, I'm going to RX everything and throw that weight on the bar. Um, it's a build, it's a steady build. And sometimes that build takes a long time.
Yeah, Murph was always a big Memorial Challenge weekend that we enjoyed doing a lot. And every year it kind of grew and grew and grew. And that Hero Watts, it's a special tribute. You know, some know the full story, and they can, I'm sure, look into the story of how it was created, and how it was, the story of the soldier. But Murph always brought the whole group together, because a lot of times throughout the year we all go at different time slots. But what's good about sometimes throughout the year is an opportunity, and especially an occasion celebrating such a great cause. But Murph, that's um, that allows us to all come together in the morning on Memorial Weekend and gear up and make it a 45-minute nonstop workout. If it's getting, sometimes takes me a long. It depends on the heat. We're in Louisiana.
I love Murph because everybody, like I said, gets to come at once. There's a couple of heats, but still there's more people there than normal at the 5 a.m. So you get to work out with people you don't normally get to work out with. And then on top of that, it's like every year you set your goal a little higher, right? So like, maybe it's the time that you're trying to beat. Or maybe you're like, oh, next year I'm going to do my run with a weighted vest, or maybe I'm going to add a vest to my pull ups, or, it's just always trying to get better. And I always look forward to that workout, because that's the one workout that I know is a staple that I can write down. And I know that, and just like the hero workouts, I think any hero workout as well, those are things that really stick with you. With the next time you do it, you're just trying to be faster and trying to be better.
I honestly believe that CrossFit turned me into the person that I am. The level of confidence that I gained as a female coming in here through the years and learning all these movements and getting strong and making the friendships that I did, like the mental aspect of CrossFit, people don't really get until they start. And that will always blow my mind. It's not just about your muscles and working out. It's you become a different person. You just love yourself a lot more, and that was huge. That changed my whole life. And I've seen it all the years that I've owned this place. I've seen it with women, men who thought they were like athletes in school, but they learned everything wrong, and then they come in here and they're doing things. Old guys that are texting me about PRs that they're getting, which is a personal record now in their 60s and 50s that they didn't do in high school. It's just the stories are crazy. I don't know. It's a lot more than just working out, for sure.
When I started CrossFit, like I said, I was in a place of probably insecurity and lack of confidence, and I was, a little overweight and wasn't eating right and all the things. And it's like I started doing CrossFit and I felt empowered and I felt strong and I was proud of myself and I was confident, and I was like, hey, it gave me a clear vision of like what I wanted to do with my life, where I wanted to go, how successful I wanted to be. I went back to school. I went to grad school. I graduated with a 4.0 because I was like, hey, if I am this disciplined, like to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and make it to a 5 o'clock CrossFit class and work out and get to work, when people, they've still been sleeping, it's like I am capable of doing, like I said, really hard things. And so that really pushed me. It completely changed, my outlook of what I could do, So that was and I credit that's totally CrossFit. Totally CrossFit. I'm trying to think, man. It's just so like it's like emotional almost. Yeah. It really is. It's emotional to talk about because it has totally changed my life. Totally changed my life.